Welcome back. We're talking with three of the top officers from the National Cattlemen's Beef Association about some of the big issues and challenges facing the beef cattle industry today. Andy, let's start with you. How is a sluggish U.S. economy affecting beef cattle producers?
Well, we certainly have to be concerned with the softness in the U.S. economy and the weakness of consumer confidence and consumer spending. We all know that beef is the favorite choice of protein for millions and millions of Americans. And with that being said, even with beef commanding a little bit higher price than our competing proteins with poultry and pork. With that being said, producers also today are faced with very high input costs. We have high production costs today, whether we talk about hay, grain, fertilizer, or fuel. We have just skyrocketing costs that makes it very expensive for us to produce cattle today. And given our soft economy that we're experiencing today, it's difficult for producers to pass these added costs on to the consumers.
That's a great point. You know, you can't pick up a newspaper without reading a headline about the U.S. economy. Bill, what's your perspective? How is this impacting beef cattle producers?
Well, Andy makes a great point about getting the export markets back open. That is really going to be important to building demand. These high operating costs are going to be a fact of life. We can try and minimize those costs, but everything is gone out of sight. And the key to profitability is going to be adding value to each and every animal that we sell. And that makes the export markets more and more important. So we have got to work very hard to not only get the Korea back open and expand the Japanese market, but keep the momentum going on these other important markets that we have.
We recently had some great news about the Korean market. In fact, Andy, would you mind sharing your perspective on that exciting news?
Yes, as most everyone knows, I was privileged and very honored to be part of the U.S. delegation to attend the inauguration of the new president of South Korea back in February. And just very recently, the South Korean government announced that they're going to accept beef back in their marketplace. This is just an absolutely great win for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, because we were on the forefront being very aggressive and working diligently with the USTR and USDA to make sure that we could get that marketplace open. It's very important to our producers. It's very important to the Korean consumers. The Koreans know that U.S. beef is the safest, best, and most nutritious product in the world, and it's the cheapest commodity in their country. It's a big win for U.S. producers. It's a billion-dollar impact to our cattle industry in the United States, and in order for our industry to remain profitable and for us to remain successful in this business, it's so important that we got this market back. In fact, the beef is anticipated to be shipped to Korea by the middle of May. With that being said, this organization, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, is aggressively working to grow our export markets throughout the world. We're shipping beef to 102 countries worldwide, and we're shipping a record amount of beef to 20 of those countries. And so with that being said, you know, we as an organization, we always are working with the politics of the situation, the roadblocks that these countries put up, trade barriers, but that's the challenge that we all have. And I can tell you that NCBA is definitely up to the challenge, and it's very exciting that we've got beef going into Korea.
That is exciting, and what a great tribute to those of you who are leading the organization. I know those things take a lot of energy and effort and time and money, frankly, to get those things taken care of. Bill, we've had a little different story with the Colombia trade agreement. From your perspective, give us some insight to what's going on there.
Well, unfortunately, Colombia is an example of how things don't always go right. Unfortunately, the U.S. has recently put ourselves behind the eight ball when it comes to trade. Colombia is a good ally and a good customer. Congress already passed the preferential treatment that allows the Colombian products to come into this country tariff-free. But when it comes time to step up to the plate and reduce the tariffs of our products going into Colombia, they stall out and don't do the right thing. And when the congressional leadership chooses to use these trade agreements as a political football, the people that make their living off the land are the people that get hurt. So we have got to make sure that we have equitable treatment. You know, the American cattlemen can compete with anybody in the world, but we have to have a level playing field to do it. We have to have some sense into these trade agreements. We need them because we need the trade, but they have to be fair and they have to make sense. The Colombian trade agreement makes sense, and we need to get that passed, and we need to get the South Korean trade agreement passed, because here we are paying 80% tariff in Colombia to get our product in and 40% in Korea. And that just puts us behind the 8 ball.
Huge, huge disadvantage, isn't it?
That is.
Yep.